I have the privilege tonight of introducing our speaker. His name is Corey Johnson, and he comes to us from the great state of Michigan, where he currently works as a dean in Meyer Hall on the Andrews University campus. But before that, he was a 5-year student missionary on the island of Palau, where he taught and has amazing stories and amazing memories from that time. And that inspired him to go get his doctorate in missions, which he's currently working on as we speak. But the most important thing and the biggest thing that came out of this was an influencing career. And he has this YouTube channel. Look it up in your spare time. Not here because off your phones, but look it up when you get a chance. It's The Buff Missionary is his name on YouTube. So like, subscribe, look him up. But I'd like to welcome up Corey Johnson.
Or maybe you should buy into some cryptocurrency and play with some goofy-looking animals. Hashtag if you know, and if you don't, good. Save your time and your money. The interesting thing is, for all that these people do, for all that they achieve, for all that they have, it seems like there's something missing. They keep looking for more, right? Life must be about more than just what we do, right? For me, growing up in a Christian home, it was defined by doing the right thing, eating this and not that, watching this and not that, listening to that kind of music but not that kind of music, pressure to be in the right place at the right time, and so on. You get the picture. An endless checklist of things to do. Anyone remember the WWJD era? It's not still going, is it? Oh, my bad. Welcome to whatever century this is. So WWJD, what would Jesus do? The ultimate question in the wristbands that everyone would wear around the homies, but you take it off when you go to the movies, right? Yeah. I got tired of all that doing. I got tired of the checklist. I had no interest in doing all of this without a purpose or a point to it. And I stopped doing a lot of things, including being a Christian, essentially. In fact, I'm actually a little bit embarrassed by how lazy I was in my high school years. Hopefully, none of you can relate. But basketball was my jam. I hear there's a tournament this weekend. We got any ballers in the house? Okay. Good luck. Glad you guys are here. Hope it's a great tournament. Stay safe. No injuries, all right? Basketball was all I cared about in high school, okay? Like literally the only thing. When I found out that all you needed was a C average to be on the team, guess what I did for 2 years? A C average. Now, I will argue that you have to be pretty intelligent to only get a C average. You know, there's a bar. You don't want to aim too high because, you know, then you're doing too much, right? So, like I said, hopefully you don't relate. But basketball, that was my thing. And I'm not going to lie, it was kind of nice. I could play. But I thought I was going places until a stolen credit card a snowboard, and a broken arm kind of derailed my hoop dreams. But that's another story, all right? Somehow, I ended up making it through high school and graduating, even though I finished my senior year before my junior year. That's another story, too. I didn't have any purpose or plan by the time I finished high school. I had no plans, nowhere I wanted to go. The only college I went to, I'm not going to out them here, but the only college I went to, their college days, I decided, no, there's no way I'm going there. So I just worked for a summer. And through that summer, I would work until I got tired of working and tired of being at home. And a week before school was going to start at Southern Adventist University, I applied, miraculously got accepted, and I was out. Now, just because I was at Southern didn't mean that I all of a sudden had a plan or a new vision for my life. I was still asking myself the same questions I had been the whole time. Why am I here? What am I here to do? And college, you all know it well, it's about doing, isn't it? I signed up originally to do a double major. Wow, so ambitious. Computer science and animation. Now, I took the first 2 classes, it was a Monday, Wednesday, of computer science, and when they told me 0, 1 plus 1, 0 equaled 4, I said, I'm out of here. I don't know what y'all talking about. I was done. That left me with animation, but I tried and I failed animation too, and I took it again and failed it again. So clearly I couldn't draw either. Changing majors, time after time after time, and what am I going to do? What am I doing here? I'm not really finding success anywhere. So I said, you know what? At least the one thing I could do is decide to make some money. How about that? So I went into business. Oddly enough, math was the only good subject I was ever good at. And so I knew I could do numbers. So I decided to focus in accounting, and I was good at it. I decided to stick with it throughout the rest of my years in college. I was a 5-year senior due to all the switching. But I got down to graduation, and I was ready to go. Me and my buddy, we had this grand plan. We were going to set up a tax firm, work 3 months out of the year, and just chill for the rest of the time. We were going to make bank. We were ready for it. I got an interview. I secured an interview at Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is by your side? Yes, that one. And I was ready to go. High rise in downtown Chattanooga. Hey, like, these dreams is about to happen. About a month before graduation, I go in for the interview. Go downtown, go up the 30 floors in the elevator. It was fast. It was nice. Never been in one like that before. And I get out of the elevator. I go on to the whatever floor it was, 30th floor, I guess, huh? And the interviewer meets me there. But it was hard for me to listen to what he had to say because the vibe of the place was just kind of off. It was too quiet. It was too sterile. Like, I'm listening to him talk, and we're going back and forth about what the job is and all the stuff that you'd have to do. And all I could think of was how all I could hear was the clicking, clacking of keyboards. I mean, there was probably 30 people in there, but they're all looking at their 2 monitors, and not a word was spoken. It's just me and the other guy talking the entire time. And I knew, I can't do this. If this is what business is like, then I'm not about it. So I told him, I said, hey, you know, thanks for this interview, but we don't really need to continue it. I'm pretty sure this isn't what I want to do. And he's like, oh, okay, well, you know where the door is. And I said, yes, I do, thank you. And I left. But the problem was, in 3 weeks, I'm supposed to graduate, right? So here I am again. Why am I here? What am I going to do? No plan, no purpose, no meaning, no reason, and I'm about to get a degree that I have 0 interest in doing anything with. Well, the funny thing is, someone had mentioned to me before I'd worked a summer job, and they said, hey, I am going to this place called Palau. And it sounded like fun, sounded like an adventure to me. They talked about water and swimming and scuba diving and stuff. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm down. So that's what I ended up doing. I took that year after no plan and no purpose and decided to go to Palau. No prep, no plan. I think I did the research just because the student missions department required it. I don't remember anything that I researched, and I went. One thing I do remember, though, is what it was like landing in Palau for the first time. Small airport, mad humid, 90 degrees, 90% humidity all day, every day. And we get off of the plane into that, and we're walking. There's about 5 or 6 of us SMs. And we round the corner into the terminal, and there's like 50 or 60 people there. They were waiting for us. Now, some of you who do travel, it's very rare to go to an airport and see 2 people waiting for you. But to go and see 50 people, it was kind of overwhelming. And it's not because there were so many people there. I'd been in airports and seen a lot of people like that before. It's because of the vibe they were giving off. It was one like we were a family that was returning home, not people who were coming there for the first time. It's like we were being celebrated for being present. By the time we left the airport, each of us had been adopted into local families, and we were served before ever getting a chance to serve. And that set the tone for that year in a lot of different ways for me, but I just knew it was something different about this year and this experience. It would be like if you walk into class in your 4-hour lab, and the professor's like, hey, great job. I'm gonna give you 100 on that assignment. What assignment? I haven't done anything yet. Oh, I know you wished for that to happen. I was in one of the labs the other day, and I don't know what was going on, but I'd appreciate the A, though. It'd be like going onto the court for your basketball game, and the refs say, hey guys, we're gonna give you guys this win. Don't even worry about it. Just play, have some fun, but at the end of the day, we're gonna give you the win anyway. It'd be like walking into that test you were studying for, that big law exam, and the professor sees you as you stroll in, and he says, hey, you know, I know you put a lot of work into this, maybe you didn't, doesn't matter. You're getting an A today. All you have to do is sit down here and pretend to take the test, you'll be all right. That's not reality, though. But that's what it felt like being in Palau for that first time. I knew something was different being here, but I couldn't exactly put my finger on what it was. And this is something I tell everybody. I've said it probably 10 times in the time I've been here. I'm going to say it again. I felt more at home in Palau than I have anywhere else. I felt more at home there than anywhere else. And after coming back to the States after that year, the only thing I could think of was, when am I going to get a chance to go back? Just being in that state of mind, I knew I needed more of that, whatever that was. I finally was able to return to Palau 5 years later. This time I would stay for 4 years. And I had one experience there in particular that really helped me identify the thing that I couldn't quite put my finger on before. Let me give you some context. The schools in Palau are super diverse, all right? There's an elementary school, there's a high school. And there are students from literally all over the world: Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Japan, Korea, the Philippines, Guam, several other islands, Europe, Africa, United States. We had students from everywhere. With all of that comes different backgrounds, different cultures, different religious experiences, different preferences. You name it. We experience it in the school, and I'm the Bible teacher. So I have to walk into this space, and what am I going to do? Who am I going to be? What am I going to do in this space here? Do we have any education majors in the house? All right. So y'all know it well, that perplexing dilemma of decisions, lesson plans. Yeah, amen. My lesson plans, though, I'm not going to lie, they were kind of nice, all right? I put some time in on those right there. I had the thing planned out, mapped out from start to finish, day 1 to day 153, whatever it was. Month by month, week by week, I had it mapped out very nicely. In fact, my lesson plans were so good that the principal ended up using them as the model in orientation for SMs for the next couple of years. That's how nice they were. I was going to do some big things teaching, but there was a problem. The students didn't care. They didn't care. They were sleeping in my class. Half my class was asleep. Some of them were snoring. I actually ended up getting a Nerf gun to shoot them to wake them up in class. Don't do that. Don't do that. Some of them would be talking. Others would be openly pull up the math book and drop it on their desk really loudly so I could hear it and see it and start working on math problems. And I'm like, man, what is going on here? I almost caught myself thinking, well, you know what? I'm here to talk about the truth. And if they don't want it, that's on them, almost. I almost got caught thinking that way. But there was one day, I was talking about David and Goliath. David, my favorite Bible character. And one of the students raised his hand. All right, yeah, go ahead. Hey, coach, who's David? My immediate reaction, in my mind, I didn't say it out loud, but my immediate reaction was, how do you not know who David is? That's like kindergartners know who David is, you know what I'm saying? But that stuck with me over the next couple days, and that thought changed from how could you not know into why don't you know? And I realized that I could not make the assumption that just because these students with their various backgrounds and religious experiences were in an Adventist system, it didn't mean that they had the same knowledge base that I did. I thought, it can't just be that they don't care. There has to be something more than that. Because if there's something I do believe, it's this. If the gospel is real, then Jesus must appeal to everyone. Would you agree? Okay, 2 people do. All right, that's what's up. Thank you. Now, I believe this to be completely and absolutely true, but I was going about it the wrong way. Could I stop trying to tell my students what to do and what they needed to know and simply be there with them in the experience so I could find out how Jesus could be a part of their experience? So you know what I did? What every good teacher should do, and spend less time on lesson plans. But it was at a cost. I decided to spend more time with my students. I spent more time learning about them, their culture, their backgrounds, their religions, why they thought the way that they did, why they believed the things that they do. And guess what? I found it. I found the areas for each student where something in their path intersected with Jesus in his life. It didn't matter which religion they had. It didn't matter what their experience was. There was something that each student shared that showed me a way that Jesus could mean something to them. It was awesome. Class became exciting. The students began to love it, and I began to love it as a teacher. I couldn't wait to go in there and be with them and talk about Jesus. And in that learning and being with them, I learned something very important. There's no one-size-fits-all Christianity. There's no cookie-cutter spirituality. It doesn't work like that, and it never did. It's so cool because some of the students that I got to be with in that experience in Palau, they're now here at Southern, Andrews, PUC, La Sierra, and even Walla Walla as students. How about that? I got to shout out my man Reese, Nale, Layden. I don't know if y'all are in here. That's what I'm talking about, my people. I taught Layden in 3rd grade the first year, by the way, just so you know. But to see that experience, and I'm not saying they're here because of me. That's definitely not the case. But when you look at the missionaries that decided that it was worth being in another culture, overseas, and with people, I believe, and I think you can ask them, they would confirm, that they saw something about that being from missionaries and decided that they wanted to come and be with us here. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you know what? This is the power of service and the mission mentality. These students are not here because of what someone did. They're here because of who someone was. The most powerful change you can experience will never come from what you spend your time doing, but who you spend your time being. I'm horrible at chemistry. I failed it in high school. Some of y'all are great at math. Others, science. Others, law. We all have different things we do well, and we all have things we don't do so well. But guess what? If you focus on that, it becomes very easy to say, I can't go to the mission field and be a missionary. I can't do that. I can't teach that. I don't have the knowledge to do that. It becomes very easy to make that excuse. It becomes very easy to say, I don't have time for that in my 4-year college lesson plan. It becomes very easy to say there's no room for this in what I'm doing. But should college be more about just what you're doing or who you are becoming? Because if you got time to be, then you got time to be a student missionary. I'm just saying. Here's the reality. What you decide to do lasts for a season, but who you decide to be will give you a reason. You're going to have to run that back on the live stream. Our purpose and our meaning is found in who Jesus says we are, and it's defined by who we choose to be. And I hope that that's something that each and every one of you chooses to be about. My mission experience, contrary to my initial belief, was never about all the plans I had and all the stuff I thought I was going there to do. It was about discovering who I was meant to be. When I tell you that for as many years as I stayed in Palau, I could never outgive the Palauan people. They always outgave me. And I tried. That's why I stayed 5 years. They would always continue to outgive me, even to this day. They do. They helped me become who I am now, and they've helped me to appreciate who I am and what it means to be. After those 5 years in Palau, that's what I'm about, living in pursuit of being. And I definitely see things a little bit differently now. I used to think that the real Christian experience was boring and draining and tedious. And because of my perspective, it was. And I'd hear people say, oh, you just need to get more involved. You ever hear people say that to you? But I'll submit to you this. The real Christian experience is less about doing and more about being. And we humans have got it twisted. Jesus didn't come down here to do. Jesus came down here to be. Emmanuel, God with us. WWJD, what would Jesus do? That's the wrong question. Who would Jesus be? And how do we look at that and apply that to our experience? As followers of Christ, it's not about all the good that we think we can do. It never was. Check this out. When you look at the Gospel Commission found in Matthew 28, 19 and 20, 18, 19 and 20? Jesus says to the disciples, all power and authority is given unto me, so go ye therefore and make disciples of all nations. What else? What else does he say there? Come on, I know you know this one. Baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and doing what? Teaching. But what's the best way to teach? Through modeling, through being. That's why the next line is a statement of being. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the age. Jesus wants to be with us so we can be with others. Who you are and who you decide to be will always have more influence than the things that you do or say. And you know what? That's something worth a lot more than all the Bugattis you can buy. It's worth more than all the liver you can eat. It's worth more than the body adjustments you can or can't afford. And it's definitely worth more than all the drama you wish you could get away from. My little children, let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. My encouragement to you is simple. Don't get caught in the endless, exhausting experience of doing. But challenge yourself and try to embrace the awesome adventure of being in service, being with Jesus. And while you're at it, choose to be a missionary. Thank you. We out here, we out. Follow the Buff Missionary.
Subscribe!
So, subscribe, like, share. You know how it is.